Hi, Lucas.
On
How are you?
fine.
Okay. How's your week going? How was school?
Um, know something.
You learned something?
Yes.
What did you learn?
Mm, I learned the math.
You learned a math? Doing what? What kind of math?
I don't know
Mm,
how use English to speak that.
okay. What do you can you show me? Can you show me a problem you learned? Can you write it?
Like
Like in chat, you can just write something like 10 times 8, right? Equals 80, something like that. I mean, write it in chat if you can.
wait.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Wait, so, so long division.
Yes.
Long division. Okay, very good. That's good. I'm glad you guys are learning how to do it by hand, not by a calculator. So that's good. Okay. Do you like math?
Yes.
I like it too. Did you just come from school?
Yes.
Okay. I noticed your uniform.
Okay.
Okay. So anything else going on? Anything coming up for you? Anything exciting? Anything fun?
I think no.
No. Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah.
we study this.
Okay. I can see that a little bit. Okay. All right. So you're writing sentences?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at your homework. Let's take a look at your play. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know it's not very long. Let's take a look at the title, and then I'll have you tell me who the characters are.
The three giants.
Okay, so who are the characters?
Narrator,
Uh-huh.
and Sam.
Okay, and you said the three giants?
Yes.
Okay, and what are their names?
The I don't know.
You don't have okay. So so the characters, you have a narrator, and then you said Sam, and who are the other ones?
No.
I didn't hear what you said on the second one on your characters. The first one is the narrator. The second is what?
Giants.
Just giants. Okay, so it could be 1, 2, 3, or not one, but it could be 2, 3, 4, whatever, right? Giants. That's a character, and then Sam. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and read it.
Narrator. Long, long ago, there were three giants. They were big and huge. One day, a boy named Sam was going to have some fun with giants. I'm a hunter. My gun can make the giants jump. Sam made the giant.
Aimed.
Made the giants. Giants were eating lunch. Ow! Who did that? Sam put the fork into giant's chin.
Okay. And that's all, right? That's all you have? Okay. Couple things on that. And you wrote it correctly, the way the play was written out. But there wasn't, this is, and I know I told you not to write, a really long one, but after Sam poked the fork into the giant's chin, what happened in the story? What happened after that? Did the giant die? Did the giant make friends with Sam? Did this giant go away? You see what I'm saying? There's not really a completion of what happened. Yeah. You did good with the writing of the character and the narrator describing things. That was really good. So the next time, just write a little bit more so there's some kind of completion, some kind of end to the story. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, hold on, but let's take a look at some grammar. Just so go back to the first page. And that actually is okay. The three, well, you have the narrator. Long, long ago, there were three giants. And you have a period. They were big and huge. And one thing, just a kind of a critique on the big and huge, because big and huge are the same thing. They're synonyms. They kind of mean the same thing.
In normal.
Well, once again, that would be also another synonym relating to size. Big, huge, enormous, gigantic. Those are all the same thing, meaning they're big. But if you wanted to have some contrast between that, maybe were the giants pretty? Were they ugly? Were they pretty or are they ugly?
I think they are ugly.
Okay, so to give a nice contrast with that, you could say they were huge and ugly. So now I know that they're big and they're not very good looking at all. They may be scary looking. So you could describe what they look like. Okay. So that would just add a little bit more. All right. And then on page 2, where you have my gun can make the giants jump. Okay. The only kind of grammatical thing I found there, and that word here, this word here, Lucas, is aimed. A-I-M-E-D is pronounced aimed.
In.
Yeah, like you're aiming, pointing at something, correct?
Okay.
The giants were eating lunch. We really need an article there. The giants, because you're talking about giants. And then the last in here, we need the giants were eating. And then in the last one, the narrator, Sam poked the fork into the giant's chin. Okay?
Okay.
Into the giant's chin. Okay, so if you want, and I'm not asking you to do this if you don't, I mean, if you have time, okay? I want you to add more to the story, to the play, okay? I want you to continue on a little bit more and tell me what happened after this, after Sam poked the fork into the giant's chin. Try to add another page or two so we can close the story out. Because as it stands, let's pretend this pencil is a fork. When Sam poked it into the giant's chin, that's all I know. What happened after that? I got a fork in the giant's chin. Okay, so I want you to add a little bit more and bring the play to a close. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, just add, and well, you can do whatever you want, but I'm just saying, just add on to that, just so we can kind of close this play up. Okay, good job though, and you're on the right track. You know what you're doing. All right, let's continue on. Okay, so this is kind of where we left off last time, I believe. We're talking about, this will be nature. Okay. I think it's on 315 for you.
Nature can be very exciting. These were jumps.
Whale.
Jumps out of the ocean many times a day. Some people write poems about what they see in nature. There are lots of nature topic to write about. The outdoors, the seasons, living things. Talk with a partner about what excites you about nature. List your idea on the chart.
Okay, so I'm going to be your partner. I want you to tell me, what are some things that excite you about nature? What are some things that you like about nature?
What's nature's mean?
Well, take a look at what they described. What's the outdoors? What is that? Just tell me what the outdoors, what does that mean?
I don't know.
What's the opposite? Okay, hold on. We'll break this down. Right now, Lucas, where are you? Where are you?
I'm in home.
Okay, so you're inside your home.
Yes.
Okay. So you're inside of a place that has walls all around you. Yeah. You're
Yes.
protected. Okay, you're protected. You have a roof over your head and you have walls all around you, so you're well protected. Okay, so that's indoors. The opposite of indoors is outdoors. The word that you see there.
Okay.
Tell me some things that you see outdoors.
I see the mountains.
Okay, that's part of nature. Nobody built mountains. They came about through time. Tell me some other things that you can see outdoors, or that you can think of that are outdoors. What's a place that a lot of people like to visit in the summer that has a lot of water?
Hotel.
Hotel, okay, but a hotel is like another building. No, what's a place where people like to go, where they might go sailing, they might go swimming in it?
Swimming pool.
Can you think of another thing that people like to swim in? That's outdoors.
The sea.
There you go. So we got the ocean, the beach, right? That's all nature too. Nobody built that like they did a house or a hotel. So some things in nature are things like that: the mountains, the sea, the forest, okay, all the trees, all the wild animals that live in the forest. Okay,
Okay.
does that kind of make sense about
Yes.
nature? Okay, so now let's go back. Well, let me ask you, what is the seasons? What's that?
It is summer, spring, autumn, and winter.
Okay, so you know your seasons. Okay, so those are, and what are seasons? You named them, that's correct, but what are they? What's the purpose of seasons?
The 4 seasons make a year.
Okay, so all 4 seasons make a year, but what happens during those seasons? What's so important about them? What's the difference between a winter and a summer? Are they the same?
No.
Okay, explain, tell me, what's the difference?
One is cold, one is hot.
Okay, that's real basic, right? And so our weather changes during those seasons, right? And we have reasons for those seasons, but I think you understand that. Okay, so, and then what are living things?
Living things is it in our home, like the refrigerator.
The what? The what?
Refrigerator.
I'm not getting that. Say again.
Refrigerator.
Oh, refrigerator. Refrigerator. No. No. What is a living thing in your apartment? Are you a living thing?
No.
Yeah. You're alive. You breathe air. You're growing. You eat. You sleep. Okay. I don't want to call you a thing, but you're living. Okay. Your mom and dad are living. If you have plants in your house, they are living. Okay. Your refrigerator is not going to grow. Okay. It's not going to eat. It might hold all the things that you eat. It's an appliance. It's an electrical appliance. Right. Okay, give me now in nature, give me an example of a living thing. And we're talking about like outdoors in nature.
And a bear.
Okay, a bear is a living thing. It's a living thing, and it comes out in the spring. It's sleeping in the winter, during the season of the winter. Tell me some other things that are living outdoors.
Lion.
Okay, these are all animals. They're all living. Okay, what else? Something else that's not an animal. That's living.
Dinosaurs.
Well, they were living. They're all gone now. Let's talk about now. What's living outdoors now? What happens when you go to a park? What do you see?
Little bug.
Okay, little insects, those are living things. What about when you go to a park or you go to a forest? What do you see? What do you see there?
Flower.
Okay, what else?
Grasses.
Grass, okay, what else?
Tree.
And trees, okay. Those are all types of things that are living, okay? So those are living things and they're outdoors. They're in nature. We see them everywhere. Okay, so those are just some examples just so you get an idea. Okay? All the birds that are at the beach, that fly over the beach, the seagulls, things like that. The eagles, the birds that you see in the city, those are all living things. Okay, all right, let's take a look at vocabulary.
Paul. Sam enjoyed looking at the pale yellow flowers.
Hold on.
What?
No. The pronunciation of that word is pale.
Pale.
Pale. Long A sound. Pale. Okay.
Pale.
Okay.
Sam enjoyed looking at the pale yellow flowers.
Pale yellow flowers. Pale.
What is the opposite of pale? How to say? There's a snake. It is not pale.
It's not pale. Another what about the sun?
It's light.
It's light.
It's bright.
It's bright. That's the opposite of pale. Okay. Pale is something that's kind of light looking. I'm going to show you an example. Hold on. Okay. Here I have a lot of yarn because I do a lot of crochet and stuff. I make a lot of blankets. Okay. Here's two colors. Okay. Here's one. Is this pale or is it bright?
It's pale.
How about this one?
It's bright.
It's bright, right? See the difference? So pale is really light in color, and then the opposite would be bright, something bright or bold. Okay, so that's the opposite. Okay, next one.
Drops. There are drops of water on the plant. Where else have you seen drops of water? Raindrops.
Okay, and where do you see raindrops?
In the window.
On the window. On the window. There you go. Good job. All right, number 3.
Number 3, excited.
No, excite. Okay.
The dancers will excite the
What's that word?
audience.
Audience. Good job. Okay.
Audience.
What is, hey, Lucas, what's an audience?
I don't know.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to have you figure this out. You see those 3 little girls?
Yes.
Okay, they're dancing, right?
Yes.
And they're dancing probably, it looks like ballet, right? Who are they dancing for? Who do you think is watching them?
Teacher.
What's that?
Teacher.
Anybody else?
And the people.
Okay.
And the pupil.
And the students, okay? So all those people are the audience. Okay, an audience is the people that watch the performers, whatever they're doing. They could be singing, they could be dancing.
I know.
Okay.
Know.
So now you know what audience is.
I know.
Okay. Go ahead and read the question.
Okay. What can excite you when you go outside? Can excite the can excite seeing.
What can excite you when you go outside, Lucas? What's another word? What's another word? What does excite mean? What does that mean?
Excitement was dance to the audience.
Well, the dancers will excite the audience. What is another word for excite? What does that mean?
It means dance.
It doesn't mean dance. That's what those girls are doing. They're dancing. But what does excite mean? The dancers will excite the audience. So what is the audience going to do? Or what does that mean?
The audience is go to saw is go to say the excite.
Okay, but what is, I mean, can you describe that? What does that mean?
Dance, sing, talk to the audience.
Okay, let's rephrase this a different way. I think you're struggling. All right. If you were in the audience, okay, let's pretend, okay, Lucas, you're in the audience and you are watching the dancers dance, okay? How do you feel? How do you feel when you see the dancers dance?
I feel happy.
Ah, okay. So, and you might clap because you like their performance. You're happy. Yay, good job. Your best friends are up there. Yay, good job. You're happy. Okay, that's excite, right? It's gonna cause you to be happy, uplifting. When you have a birthday party and you have a cake and a present, you're probably very excited. You're really happy because you're going to eat some cake and you're going to open up a present. That's excite. That's an emotion. Okay. So now you know what that means. The question, what can excite you when you go outside? What makes you happy? What makes you...
went to the cinema to see the film.
Okay, like a cinema to see something. Okay, but that, once again, the cinema is indoors. Okay, and I understand you go into a movie, go into a cinema, that can make you excited. You can be really happy. But what about when you go outside, out in the outdoors? What are some things that can excite you when you go outside?
I think I only know the some indoors.
You don't do anything outdoors? You don't go to the beach? You don't go to the mountains? You don't go to the park? You don't go ride your bicycle? You don't do anything like that outside?
No.
Oh, so you only stay inside. You never go outside.
No.
You don't play at a park.
No.
Oh. Okay. That sounds a little unusual. What about at school? Don't you go outside at school and play? Lucas, do you go outdoors at school? Do you go outside and play sometimes?
Yes.
You do. Okay. What do you play with? Or what do you play on?
The basketball.
Okay. So maybe you get excited when you play basketball outdoors. Do you get excited? Are you happy about that? Or do you not want to play?
I don't very know how to play the basketball.
Okay, you don't know how to play basketball, but do you like it?
Yes.
Do you like trying to play?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe that's one thing that you do that excites you when you go outside. All right. But I think you probably go outside more than you know. But you never go to a park? Do you ever go to a park?
I go to the park.
Is that outdoors?
Yes.
Do you get excited when you're going to the park? Does it make you happy?
Yes.
Okay, so there's another. You get excited when you go to the park. Okay, let's go to the next word.
Yes. Outdoors. We we can play soccer outdoors. Name something you can do outdoors that you cannot do inside. Hide and seek.
Okay, so you play hide and seek outdoors.
Yes.
Okay, you don't play hide and seek indoors?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Okay, let's go to the next part of the lesson. We're going to talk about poetry a little bit. We may have went over some of these terms before, but they're really important, and it's a good thing to kind of go over again. Okay, go ahead and read the first one in the first box.
Portray words. Alliteration.
Alliteration.
I like to read a poem with alliteration.
Alliteration.
Because I like to say the same beginning sound in word.
Okay.
Say 3 words with the same
With the with the same.
Cat and crash.
Okay. Because we're looking at beginning with a C, right? Cut. Okay. Cat, crash. What else?
Dog, dig.
Okay. Okay. Another one.
Cake, clever.
Cake, clever. Okay. 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 I think you understand. Okay. So that's alliteration. Let's go to the next word where it says repetition.
Repetition. Wrote who repair word to all phrases in a poem are using repetition.
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 Okay.
Why might a poet want to use repetition?
Repetition. Okay. Why? So why do you think a poet? Remember, a poet is the one that writes the poem, right?
Yes.
Why do you think some poets like to use repetition in poetry? This is your thought.
I still not know repetitions mean.
Repetition, meaning something that you kind of say over and over again. Repeat. Okay. To repeat it, to say it again.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh no. I think like some characters.
No. Repetition. Here's an example. To the swinging and the ringing of the bells, bells, bells.
Okay.
Of the chiming bells, bells, bells. Bells, 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 a bell that rings. That's repetition, saying it over and over again, 2 or 3 or 4 times. Okay? So that's repetition.
Rain, rain, falling down.
Okay, there you go. Rain, rain, right? That's repeating a word. That's repetition. Good job. Okay, let's go to the next one. It says free verse.
Free verse. In free verse, the words do not need to
Rhyme. Like
Rhyme.
cat and hat and bat and sat. Those are all rhyming words. But in free verse, the words do not rhyme, or they don't need to rhyme. Okay.
Which would you rather write? A free verse or rhyming poem?
Okay. So and tell why. Okay. So if you had to write a poem, what would you rather write? A free verse poem or a rhyming poem?
I think I maybe write a rhyming poem because I think it's good to say.
Okay, you like the repetition of repeating a word or making the word sound the same?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, guess what your homework is? Can you guess?
Use the 8 vocabulary words to make a story or make a free verse story, a free verse poem.
No, it's a good assignment, but that's not it. Your assignment is I want you to write a rhyming poem. Okay? Because if you had a choice to write a rhyming poem or a free verse, you just said you would rather write a rhyming poem. So therefore, your homework assignment is to write a rhyming poem. Okay? Okay, and then the last box there is a simile. A simile. Okay.
Simile. Bell was as fast as a cricket is an example of a simile because it uses the word as to compare two unlike things.
Okay, and we have the, okay, go ahead.
Name the two things that are being compared.
Okay, what are the two things that are being compared?
Fat and thin.
Say that again.
What does compared mean?
Compare like this to this. Okay. Compare is taking two objects, two things, two different things, and seeing how they are alike or how they are different.
Oh.
Here's an example.
Oh, I know. I know.
What are in that box right there that you just read? What are the two things that are being compared?
The pencil.
No, that's what I'm showing you to give you an idea.
The book and the notebook.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, but in this box here, the one you just read, what are the two things that are being compared?
The book is
No, hold on, Lucas. No. In this that you just read, what is being compared? Not my pencil, not your book. In this reading that you just did, what are the two things that are being compared?
fast and cricket.
Okay, but who is fast?
Bell.
Bill. Bill is being compared to a cricket. How? Why? How? How are we comparing a person to a bug? How? We're using the word fast. Okay, that's the action, moving fast. And how do we know that? Because we're using the word as. When we see that word as or like, here's another word. If you see like, okay, that's another word that we use as a simile to compare something. Here's an example. My pencil, I want you to look at the camera so you see it, so you know what I'm talking about. My pencil is as white as snow.
Snow.
Uh-huh. What am I comparing? This pencil is as white as snow. What are the two things I'm comparing?
The pencil and the snow.
How do we know that?
Because it's white.
Okay, because I use the word as white, right? Okay, good job. That is a simile. Okay, so now, yeah, we'll probably end on this one. 3 words of the 4 words here, and you have to ask me a question using those words. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Choose 3 of them.
What can't you see? Outdoors.
What can't I see outdoors? I can't see from right now. I'll look at it and I'll say, I can't see my computer outdoors. Because my computer's indoors. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Have it
Outdoors, right? Okay. Because it's indoors. Unless you take it outdoors with you, right? Okay. All right. Give me another question.
Another question. Can you excite? Can you excite the dancers outside?
That really doesn't. Can you think of another sentence with that? Try to use the word excite as the word like being happy. Okay. You don't have to use dancers or any of that. We're using excite as an adjective because that describes a feeling, right? Try to think of a different way to say that. Excite or excited or but use it in a different way.
Is your
Okay, go.
Is your bag pale or bright?
Oh, is my what back?
Bag.
My bag. Is it
Bag.
pale? Ah, I'm trying to look for a bag. Actually, my bag is bright. My bag is not pale.
Okay.
All right, and then try to use, once again, try to use excite. I want you to use excite in a sentence. Ask me a question.
Can the dancers excite you?
Okay. If I watch a good performance, yes, the dancers can excite me.
No.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's take a look at snow shape. Okay, we're going to start. It says, what excites us about nature? Read how poets describe things in nature. This will be actually really interesting. So a poet is going to write about different things in nature. What is nature? Things that are outdoors, right? We talk about weather. We can talk about different places like forests and trees and the beach and the mountains. So let's go ahead and read this first one. Okay, and I want you to read it slowly. Okay.
I has this one is this one.
Okay. You don't have this. You don't have this one here.
I have it. I have it.
Okay. This will be the next one. Let's go on page 319. I'm going to have you read this first poem. Okay.
The last story of this book.
Okay, it's not. Remember, it's not a story. It's a poem. Okay. This is a poem.
Snow is falling from the sky. It drops on the ground. It's bright, bright white, just like cold wine.
Cold what? Cold what?
Just like cold milk. It looks so soft and smooth. I hate to ruin it with my feet, but I have got a plan. I stand up tall and close my eyes, and then straight back I fall. I slide my arms up and down. I move my legs in and out. I stand up to see what I've made. A foot shape in the snow of me.
Okay, good job. Now, let me ask you something. Lucas, this poem that you read, is that a rhyming poem or is it a free verse poem?
It's a free verse form because it's not rhyme.
Okay, because it doesn't rhyme. It doesn't have words in there, usually at the end, that rhyme with words from another line. Very good. Good job. And what are they in this poem? What are they talking about in nature? What is the thing that they're talking about in nature?
It's talking about the snow.
Snow, okay, which falls from the sky, right? That is something that we can experience, not all of us, but that's something that we can experience outdoors, right? During a certain time of the season, which would be winter. Okay, good job. And let's go ahead and read one more, Nature Walk.
Nature walk. When you take a walk in the fall, leaves are like a blanket on the ground. They They crunch under your feet, which each step you take. When you take a walk in fall, the temperature begins to drop. The air feels as cool as raindrops on your cheek. It smells like clean cotton towels. When you take a walk in the fall, the outdoors will excite you. It's a wonderful
time. Okay. Okay. Now, once again, in this poem, is it a free verse or is it a rhyming poem?
It's a free verse.
Free verse. Okay. Now, tell me a couple of the similes that are in this poem that they're comparing.
The crunch. The leaves.
Okay, to what? What are they comparing leaves to?
4 leaves.
What are the leaves like? What are they comparing? Okay. So they're comparing, how do we know that? How do we know it's a blanket on the ground? Why do we know that? What word in that sentence tells us it's a simile?
Like?
Yes. It's like leaves are like what? Like what? Comparing it to what? What? A blanket on the ground. Okay. There's another one. Tell me another simile in there. Look in the second paragraph.
The ear.
Okay, what are they comparing it to?
Raindrops.
Okay. Raindrops on your cheek, right? Yes. And what about the air and the raindrops on the cheek? What are they? Cool. Okay. And then what else? There's another simile in that same paragraph talking about air. What else are they comparing air to? Smells. What does it smell? What does it smell like?
Clean cotton towels.
Exactly. Good job. And we know that because we see that simile, that word like. So they're comparing what the air smells like. What does it smell like? What does it smell like? Oh, it smells like clean cotton towels. So they're comparing the air. Okay, good job. Good job. Okay, we're gonna stop here, Lucas, and we'll come back to these next week. But remember, your homework is, if you can, yes. I want you to add more to your play, right? About the giants. I want you to add on to that. Try to give me some closure to that. What happens after the fork is stabbed into the chin? I don't know. Because I don't know what happens to the giant. I want you to finish that, okay? And then I want you to also go ahead and write a poem, a rhyming poem, because that's what you wanted to write, okay?
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, good job today, Lucas. And have a great week. Have a fun weekend. And I will see you next week, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye. Go finish eating. Bye, Lucas.